The Quantum Servant, Isaiah 53, The Physics of the Suffering Servant. Disclaimer. This presentation is a metaphysical and psychological exploration of Isaiah 53, using concepts inspired by Seth Speaks by Jane Roberts as a conceptual lens, not as theology or doctrine. The Bible is honored here as a sacred text. This episode does not replace faith, belief, or traditional interpretation. Its purpose is to explore how prophetic language may encode consciousness dynamics, symbolic processes, and transformational states of awareness. Intro. What is the Quantum Servant? Before we touch a single verse, we need a simple definition. The Quantum Servant is a consciousness archetype, an entity-level awareness who enters a dense human reality to absorb collective fear, shame, and violence without returning it, and then transforms that heavy psychic energy into coherence, compassion, and new possibilities. In everyday words, the Quantum Servant is a grounding wire for the collective mind. Where others react, it integrates. Where others project, it contains. Where others create chaos, it returns silence so the system can finally see itself. You have been taught that prophecy is a preview of a future event. From the perspective of the whole self, this is an illusion. Time is not a straight line. Time is simultaneous. In the Seth material, consciousness does not travel forward to look at tomorrow. It tunes itself to probable realities that already exist within the spacious present, the layered field where past, present, and future are simply different coordinates of perception. So Isaiah was not merely predicting. He was aligning his awareness with a frequency, an archetypal pattern that repeats whenever a civilization reaches a breaking point. Isaiah 53 is the most misunderstood frequency in human history. Religious tradition often reads it as a savior narrative. Tonight, we do something different. We read Isaiah 53 as a masterclass in the alchemical transformation of energy, a description of how a high-order consciousness uses the physical body to ground and neutralize collective psychic trauma. We peel back dogma, not to insult it, but to see beneath it. We look at the physics of the servant. We look at how one point of awareness can absorb the darkness of a million projections and turn it into light. Section 1. The Biology of the Anonymous. He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. Seth teaches that the soul enters physical reality with intent, precision, and timing. The servant does not arrive as a king, because kingship is a projection of the ego. Power attracts worship and hatred. Authority invites polarization. To transform a system from the inside, the entity does not announce itself. It enters quietly under the radar of the collective ego. The dry ground Isaiah describes is more than poverty or politics. It is a low-vibrational social construct, a world cut off from the inner self, driven by survival, fear, status, and reactive emotion. The servant grows inside this desert, unnoticed, uncelebrated, unprotected. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him. This is not an insult, it is a strategy. The Quantum Servant avoids external glamour because glamour triggers the ego's most unstable circuit, the worship-hate loop. If the servant appeared as an icon of perfection, the crowd would either adore him blindly or attack him blindly. Both reactions are forms of unconscious projection. So he appears plain, not because he lacks value, but because he refuses to become a screen for fantasy. He was despised and rejected. In Sethian terms, rejection is not the ultimate proof of failure. It is often evidence of vibrational dissonance. When a high-frequency consciousness enters a stagnant field, the field experiences discomfort. The system does not reject a man, it rejects the mirror he carries. It rejects the possibility that reality can be different, because different would require inner responsibility. And the ego does not like responsibility. It prefers blame. It prefers distance. It prefers a scapegoat. Section 2. The Physics of Atonement. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. This is the point where theology often becomes emotionally charged. So we slow down and speak with clarity. In a quantum Sethian framework, the soul is an open system. Energy moves through it. Meaning moves through it. Emotion moves through it. When a collective group refuses to face its own creations, its hatred, violence, exploitation, those energies do not evaporate. They accumulate in the psychic atmosphere. They become a living pressure field around a society. Unprocessed fear becomes cultural behavior. Denied shame becomes cruelty. Suppressed guilt becomes aggression. The servant functions as a psychic catalyst. He takes up the pain not to appease a vengeful God, and not as a transaction. This is not cosmic bookkeeping, this is transmutation. The quantum servant allows the distorted emotional energy of the collective fear, rage, guilt, denial to pass through his own nervous system, his own heart, his own body. That is why Isaiah calls him a man of sorrows. He is not sorrowful because he is powerless. He is sorrowful because he is processing the nightmare constructions of others. He was pierced for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. In energetic language, piercing is penetration. The collective projections break into the body field. The nervous system becomes overloaded. The psyche becomes the furnace. Crushed describes the pressure high-density psychic energy places on a human organism. Isaiah is describing spiritual mechanics with poetic precision. The servant is doing the inner work that millions refuse to do. He becomes the filter, the transformer, the grounding wire, and through him, the toxic charge begins to neutralize. Section 3. The technology of silence. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter. If you want the physics of Isaiah 53, here it is. Silence is the highest form of energetic control. Seth teaches that you create your reality through your interpretations and reactions. Reaction is feedback. Feedback fuels cycles. Cycles become systems. If the servant retaliates, he validates the system's logic. Violence for violence, hatred for hatred, fear for fear. That would strengthen the collective trance. So he refuses to react. His silence is not weakness, it is mastery. The absence of reaction forces the aggressor to face their own action without a mirror of chaos. Without the expected response, the perpetrator experiences a vacuum, and, in that vacuum, awareness can enter. This is why the quantum servant is dangerous to corrupted systems, not because he fights them, but because he does not. He does not feed the machine. He breaks the loop. The servant understands identity differently. The body is temporary, the self is eternal. So he does not panic in the face of physical threat. He does not negotiate with fear. He does not surrender the inner self to the outer noise. His silence is a reset command, a return to zero, a refusal to become the darkness he is absorbing. Section 4. The quantum healing event. By his wounds we are healed. This is often repeated as a religious statement. But beneath that repetition is an extraordinary psychological mechanism. How can the wound of one heal another? In a simultaneous time framework, intense events create ripples across the collective psyche, not ripples of rumor, ripples of recognition. When humanity witnesses unjust suffering met with non-retaliation, something breaks open inside the group. A conscience awakens. The healing is not magic, it is the return of empathy. The servant becomes a mirror so clean that the collective can finally see itself. They recognize, we did this, we projected this, we punished what we feared in ourselves. In that recognition, the closed system reopens. The heart center returns online. Seth would describe this as the end of psychic stasis, the moment a frozen identity begins to move again. The servant's wounds become entry points, not for guilt but for light. Light enters where denial breaks. Compassion enters where projection ends. This is why Isaiah 53 has such strange power over the human mind. It forces an encounter with responsibility, not condemnation responsibility, and responsibility is the beginning of transformation. Section 5. The aftermath value fulfillment and continuity. He will see his offspring and prolong his days. After he has suffered, he will see the light of life and be satisfied. In this view, death is not a full stop. Death is a transition of focus. The servant's offspring are not merely biological children, they are new consciousness realities born from his act of transmutation. Every human being who awakens through empathy becomes part of what the servant creates. He prolongs his days because identity expands beyond the singular. His consciousness becomes braided into the many he helped to liberate from projection. This is value fulfillment. The Sethian principle that consciousness evolves through the creation of meaning, integration, and expanded love, not through domination. Isaiah 53 is not only about suffering, It is about what suffering can produce when it is integrated rather than projected. It is a map for the evolution of the species. We cannot kill our way to peace. We cannot shame our way to holiness. We cannot judge our way to justice. Eventually, every civilization faces the same lesson. We must become the quantum servant, the one who stops feeding the loop, the one who ends reaction, the one who refuses to externalize darkness and instead transforms it within. And this is why Isaiah 53 is not a historical prediction. It is an eternal pattern, written in prophetic language, a physics lesson in the alchemy of consciousness. Isaiah is not a single prophecy. It is a complete journey. If this episode helped you see that journey more clearly, let us know in the comments. Support the series by liking and sharing this video. It helps these conversations reach beyond algorithms and into real awareness. And subscribe to the channel to follow the full unfolding of Isaiah's prophecies from beginning to end.